Yes, for audio, if I was to bring in the instruments and recording devices, is there a separate area that's quiet to record, or is it all in just that one?
That's a really good question. I hadn't thought about those acoustic needs. I might be able to facilitate another room on another floor. I have to check in. So, the possibility that we might need that sort of opens up the opportunity to ask for access to that space. There are some spaces in our building that we actually don't get to schedule. Right? So I've scheduled I've scheduled us at the scale that I know I have control over. There are a couple of classrooms on the floor below us that would be quiet during the weekend normally, and could then be given over to this kind of facility. But I can't schedule it, so I need to check to make sure. So that's a really good question. I'll take a note of that and see what I can come up with. If not, the hours between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. tend to be really quiet.
Well, if you were sleeping at all. Jimi Hendrix riff.
In there that has the most obnoxious riff I've ever heard. It was going on from 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. Nice guitar music or whatever would be.
Yeah. Let me see what I can do to work on it. Part of what I also want to try to do is make sure that we have a certain amount of contiguity of the spaces. Right? So if we can say, all of the audio is going to be in another building half a block away, that also would kind of dissipate some of the energy. And so I want to see what kind of interesting creative solution we can come up with.
So it doesn't hurt your situation horribly if, say, for instance, in a worst case scenario, I had to cancel on you at the last minute.
It wouldn't hurt me.
My baby's due right then. So, and the woman told me today when I told her I was coming here for this, she's like, I'm just going to tell you now, I will divorce you if you are not there when the baby's born because you're at Game Jam. And I said, okay. So I just wanted to check and make sure that it's not really hurting you too much, that opening could still be used.
It can either be used or, what I'm going to say is you have privilege of position if you register early and you need to not be there. Then I'm going to say, please don't worry about it, because bringing a life into the world is an amazing thing.
Yeah, it's my first boy.
Congratulations.
How does it work if we either can't be on site for the day of the game jam, or if we want to come down Saturday or work from home Sunday?
So what we've done in the past, we have had someone work from Durango remotely. He's completely alone out of Durango. And we Skyped him in, and he found some buddies that he could work with remote. And they left their Skype window open, or their sort of instant messaging window, telepresent window of choice open the entire time. And they were moving assets back and forth. With him, I had advance notice and was able to email to him the moment that I knew what the theme was. So he could also contribute in the back and forth about creative ideas and creative problem solving. So if you feel you need to do that, and the people that you're working with are okay with it, I'd certainly be okay with it. The very first year we did this, we had one person who showed up, heard the theme, left, didn't say goodbye or anything, then showed up about half an hour too late to the show and tell. And he had worked on a game all by himself in his dorm the whole 48 hours. Like, oh, geez, I'm sorry. If I had only known, I would have made sure that I kept in communication with you to let you know what was going on and when we were starting. And so I'm open to the sort of telepresent working. It's nice to have bodies in the space, but if for any reason you need to be working somewhere else, it's totally all right. I'm okay with it. Let me think, what else? Anything else, you guys?
How many people do leave? Like, I mean, how many people stay for the entire 48 persons working on site?
We have had some, I'm going to say about 10, maybe 15. So, as I said, we're about 50-50 DU student community and 50% non-DU. We've had people who have dormitories that are less than half a block away from our building stay in the room or in the space for the full 48 because they got a charge out of doing that. And we have had people like Mark last year who stayed in the room the full 48. So we've had students and non-students alike. And then we've had students, we've had people who have families and lives and who have responsibilities outside of this, who had to go and attend to those responsibilities. And sort of negotiate the, I'm not, in this case, I'm not being teacherly. I'm creating an infrastructure and an opportunity for creation. Right? So a person is responsible to their teammates, but they're not responsible to me. So if you can negotiate and navigate whatever you need to with the teammates and they don't feel like you're shorting them, then you do what you need to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's totally acceptable. A lot of people, even who lived, say, 45 minutes or an hour away, would work as long as they could, and then go home, hit the sack, because they just sleep better at home, say hi to the wife, say goodbye, and come right back. And I think that's totally acceptable. And as a music guy, I would encourage you, and this is slightly off topic, but I think a lot of people, there was a huge lack of music in the games. There usually is, audio and music. I think people don't realize that the resources are there. So I think that people like the musicians and the audio people, it behooves you and it behooves the group for you to kind of go around and say, show me what you're working on. Would you like me to make a little ditty and I'll email it to you? You can tell me if you want to use it. I would really suggest doing that.
Yeah, because, and this is also sort of reinforced by the fact that we're not having it a competition. So if you have a skill set and you don't have to be present for the full 48 hours of the development environment at that time, you can offer your skills to other teams. And so it enriches all of the teams. And that's just cool. And then what I actually encourage you not only I would encourage anyone who participates not to work till they drop, but to know before they drop if they're going to go home and sleep so they get home safely. Because I would feel really horrible if anything happened because someone was just too tired. And so that's why the emphasis on taking care of yourself I think is important.